Hello and welcome to a chip off the old block toys. I'm Jeff and today's going to be the first edition of building Lego set 910013. This is called the Retro Bowling Alley. This is a special set because this is a crowdfunding set off Bricklink. Lego only made 10,000 of these and there's only 10,000 in the world. Maybe a few less because of shipping accidents, but 10,000 were made. And well, I was very fortunate enough to get one, so let's go ahead and we'll put it together. And hello Mrs. Chip and hello Mr. Greg. Yep, that was the sound of losing about $200 value. But anyway, it's okay. And also, I should mention this is a special set because, oh, you gotta be kidding me. It doesn't come with instructions. Ah, crud. Okay. Let me go to the internet and find it. Okay, special set because what's happening on this set is that this is going into my store. I cannot speak because I'm upset about these instructions. It's a special set because in my show that's coming up in November, I'm going to for my my lug. We're going to go ahead and display this one. Oh, you got to be kidding me! They don't even have it online. You have to scan the QR code and crap. My phone's charging. All right, well, we might run out of battery. We're going to use my phone. Hold on. All right, let's give it a try. Well, at least I can see the comments now because if I would have used that for my computer for that, I would have not have been able to see it. Okay. Now I wanted to open it with you guys, so okay. Well, that's nice. It did not bring up the bowling alley. Okay, guys, this might be one of the shortest streams I've ever done. Because if it don't, no, oh my goodness, come on. Yeah, okay, it lets me download it here. Alright. Do they have an actual... sorry guys, I'm not prepared because I thought this was going to be like everything else. Yeah, I heard that Coolio died, and it's a shame because I did like the jokes that you were saying earlier, but also I do like Weird Al, and I like the fact that Weird Al made fun of his song, Gangster Paradise. But you know, he lived to be, what, 50, I think it was? They said his age, but I don't remember. This thing will not, like, download. Alright, I apologize. Give me a minute to get organized here. I really thought this was going to be a lot easier. I really did. Because normally you just kind of open a box and boom, there you go. So, okay. Well, I think I have everything I need. And this bowling alley is larger than I thought. I thought it was only a plate and a half. It's actually 2 full plates here. All right. So let's see what we got here for the bowling alley. Okay, it is on my phone. Oh man, this is so hard to see. Ah boy. Let me try this again. Let me see what website it brings up. and then I will punch that into my computer. Okay. Okay, yeah, it does give me a website. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Let's try that again. See what it does. Oh, it does let me do it on my computer. Okay, you just gotta be smarter than the computer. Okay, so what I'm gonna have to do, guys, is plug my phone back in because it's only at 40%. So I do apologize for the delay. However, we're back in business now, and I'm actually glad that I'm able to download the instructions, because I have a thumb drive that I have all my instructions, every single set I've ever had on there, and I want to keep it that way. That way, if the power ever goes out, I have a tablet or my laptop and I still have building instructions. And because I am part of a military family that seems to move around a lot, although we're not really doing that anymore because my wife's at the end of her, near the end of that. I like to have the instructions because the weight limit that the Army imposes on your stuff, and if you don't stay within those limits, they charge you $1 a pound you go over. So for years and years, I have had most of my instructions on a thumb drive, and it just works out better for me. All right, so here we go. Here's the first minifigure. He's a worker. And then we got to build another worker. She's a female. So we got a guy and a gal. All right, let's see what face do I need to use here. So anyway, I do like having my instructions online, or on a thumb drive. It really works out better for me. All right, now we got to build the chef. Hopefully they make some good pizza. I've known quite a few bowling alleys that make some great pizza. So, and like I said, I'll be switching back and forth between comments. Hello, Jacob. How you doing? And let's see. After the Razor Crest, I want Slave 1. Slave 1 Ultimate Collector Series is one that I do have. I was fortunate enough to get it. And hi, Ingrid. And hello, Jacob. How you doing? And got to be smarter than your average computer. Yeah, you do. Thanks, Ingrid, for showing up. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm kind of at a disadvantage today because I didn't realize the instructions didn't come with this set. So I'm going to have to flip back and forth. I only have one monitor on this laptop. So there will be a delay in responding to comments, and I apologize because usually I'm really good about doing that. But given the limitations, hopefully we'll be just fine. Oh, and I'm sorry. I didn't show you the other characters. Okay. Or minifigs. So we got the female employee, and we've got the chef. Like I said, I hope he makes that gourmet pizza like some of the... I actually had some really good pizza at some bowling alleys. And I guess just 2 patrons. And this set has 2,793 minifigures pieces and 5 minifigures. Boy, I just can't talk today. Let me tell you what. It's probably because I just got off the phone with Mrs. Chip, and yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I actually did just get off the phone with Mrs. Chip, but it wasn't like that. Or I'm just joking around. I like to give her a hard time. For those who don't know, Mrs. Chip is my wife of in December will be 27 years. So, yeah, we've been around each other for a long time, and yes, we both kid each other a lot to the point where sometimes our family will tell us that we need to be nicer to each other, and we really are being nicer to each other. We're just messing around, and that's just kind of how we are. We've always joked around with each other quite a bit. So, all right, and then they wanted me to make this triangle. I guess that's supposed to be a pool table cue. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. I'm just guessing. All right, so let's do the bowling balls, and I will get to the comments after this page. So we got I'll place these here just for a second so you guys can see them. And I'm gonna refocus the camera real quick because that was for my last build. So let me take care of that. All right, let's get to the comments. Like I said, a match made in heaven. 2 more days, yes, to the gift with purchase. I am looking forward to that as well. And I have a monitor, but I wish I had 2 plus my computer screen. That way I could use. Yeah, you know what? My work is set up that way. I have my laptop screen and then 2 monitors. My personal desktop, I do have 2 monitors, but I can't live stream from there. And unfortunately, my laptop, I just have my laptop. So, so yeah, I wished I had the same thing like what you're saying, man. Okay, so saying stickers, and okay, so we need a couple of these. Yeah, and I'm really excited about this because you guys are actually helping me right now get ready for the show in November by having, you know, this happen right here, because this is going in the show in November, and I'm really happy about that because I've been behind. I'll be honest, guys. I have been working so much on that hotel out in the shop and keeping my Bricklink store going that I have neglected the show, and I need to catch up. So it's good that we're here doing this because this is directly related to the show. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And there is, oh, there's some score sheets. All right. All right, so now we actually start some building here on the actual building itself. And I'm going to do my best to keep this with the camera focus. Sometimes I'm not that good at that, but that's just how it goes. And I imagine we got some sidewalk work to do and that kind of stuff. And Ingrid, how was your day? And Jacob, how was your day? Any progress on your instructions, Jacob? And Ingrid, how are your streams going? How are you doing with that? And I know some people that come on here say they're not interested in doing it, and I'm fine. I'm fine if you're not. I'm also fine if you are. If you want to put a link to your channel or to an upcoming live stream or something like that that's going on your channel, you are always welcome to drop that link right in the chat. I don't mind it at all. I think it's great when we help each other grow, because let's get real. This is tough. This is not easy to grow a channel. In fact, I've been working on mine for a little over 2 years, and I still haven't got that magical 1,000 number. So, yeah, it's difficult. Boy, they really like this these 1x6s, don't they? That seems to be all we're doing here. Okay. Oh, and we got. Oh, and then we got to fill in some sidewalk here. I'm going to put this one away since we're not really using it yet. And that's actually right before the live stream. That's what I was doing. I was out in my shop, and I was working on the Grand Lion Hotel, trying to get the left. I jokingly call it the left and right wing because there's 2 wings on the side of the center. And yes, I am mocking political things on purpose because I do have political convictions, but I think politics in general are just laughable, and so I like to make fun of it every chance I get. And bowling alley, I don't think I've ever saw this. Yeah, this is Ingrid. This is part of the what do you call it? The crowdfunding sets that Bricklink did, and they only did 10,000 of these. And a Wilson volleyball to my Castaway. I don't know. What? Oh, jeez. Ingrid, I'm sorry. But, you know, unfortunately, there just seems to be an a-hole in every group. And I'm sorry it happened to you, man, because I would be upset with that, too. I had somebody accuse me once of showing up to work drunk. And it really, really pissed me off because I don't drink at all. In fact, I've only drunk, and I didn't even get drunk. I only had 2 drinks once in my life, and that was on my 20th wedding anniversary. That's the only time in my life I've ever drunk, and it wasn't enough to even get me tipsy. And that was nowhere near this incident. And yeah, someone accused me of drinking at work, and I got real upset because I don't do that. And so I could totally understand where you're coming from, and honestly, I wish that wasn't said to you. Oh, well, I messed this up, so let me grab this before I get too far and not able to fix it. Yeah. Well, let's see. This weekend, I've got a couple of my members of my lug coming over. We're going to store some more club stuff in my shop. And we got the show in Idaho Falls coming up a week from this Saturday. It's actually Friday and Saturday. And that is an hour and a half from me. So that's why I got elected to hold the supplies over. No, I'm just kidding. The girl that usually does it, she's out of town. She's actually on a business trip, so she can't make it. So I went over to her place last weekend and picked up all the tables and stuff we were going to need. But there was one thing that somebody else was storing for the club, and they can't be there either, so they're driving up here this weekend to drop that off. It's kind of a morbid thought, but our club bought a oh man, I can't even say this. We bought a mortician's table, the ones they stick the dead bodies on. We bought a new one because they're sturdy and they can take a lot of weight. And we stick all of our folding tables on there. And that's what we use to transport them from the vehicle into the... oh man, I can't even say this. I'm sorry. Yeah. We use it to transport tables from the vehicle to where we're actually doing the setup. And it works out very well because if you guys ever been to some of these shows, like there was one that we went to in Denver. And I think it was a total of 5 acres under one roof. And the doors were in one section. We were all the way in the back and you couldn't pull in. And so having that mortician's table was very nice. It's on wheels. So yeah. Might be helpful for somebody to know. You can buy one of those. No, I'm just kidding. No. I'm just joking around, guys. But I'm not joking around that we bought the table, though. We really did. So, as of Saturday, I'm going to have a mortician's table in my shop. I'll get back to comments here. It hurt my feelings, but I think it's because I talk slow. It may have, you know what? You just can't make fun of people. I'm sorry. You know, because I'll tell you what, Ingrid, I've got my health problems, and you know, I do. I have my health problems, and I'll be honest, okay? You guys have probably noticed. In a lot of my videos, I end up with sores on the top of my nose, and the reason why I do that is because I have sleep apnea real bad, and I mean really, really bad. And the only way I can sleep is by tightening that mask just really tight against my face. And unfortunately, even though I clean the strap and stuff every single day, I still get sores and they break out. And sometimes I can't sleep with my mask for a couple of days, but those sores appear and I can't get rid of them. There's no fast way to get rid of it. So, and I've had people ask me. I've never had anybody like outright be rude about it and say, "Oh, you look bad," you know. But I've had people ask me what it is, and whatever, I'll tell them privately. Of course, now I just said it publicly too, but you know, yeah. Sleep apnea runs real bad in my family, and unfortunately, I was blessed with those set of genes. You know, yay family. No, I'm just kidding. I actually have a really good extended family, and I mean really good. We get together once a month, and we do a dinner at you know, whoever's hosting it, and we will do the dinner, and we'll celebrate every birthday, anniversary, graduation, just, you know, new job, whatever happens during that month. We celebrate it all at once. There's a cake for each one of the things we're celebrating. So there are some months, like April, that we had like 7 cakes. I grew up in a family with 4 sisters, and they're all married, and they all have kids. So, and some of those kids are old enough to have their own kids. So yeah, when we get together, we get together. It's almost a small country, but it's a lot of fun being with my family. And there's a lot of joking. There's a lot of teasing. And one thing I really like about my family is that nobody gets offended. And in my family, you know, we've got mixed races, and we have a lot of fun. And in fact, we'll pick on each other because of it. But it's not meant in a mean-spirited way. And people in my family walk away laughing. So I wish that there was more of that in the world, where people just didn't get upset about so much. I mean, laugh a little bit. Have a little bit of fun. Isn't that what life's all about anyways? Having a little bit of fun? I mean, heck, there's enough stuff that I got to do every day that I don't want to do. For once, can I have fun? And you certainly should be able to as well. And, you know, if my family member, if one of them said, hey, I don't like that, well, I would quit doing it. I really would, because it's not my intention to offend them. But what's funny with my family is if you say something to somebody and they don't like it, they're just going to say something right back. And it's funny because there's this back and forth, but no one's getting up mad. Everyone's just kind of having a good time. So, and my dad, he retired from the Navy, and so there's a lot there. He still has a sailor mouth, let me tell you. And that man knows more jokes than anybody I know. And he don't mind telling it. He don't care what companies he's in. He don't care if women are around. He don't care. That's my dad. And he's at the age now where he's old enough that people actually think what he says is cute. And I'm just like, so what age do you have to be when everything you say is cute, even when it's foul? I don't know. Because it happens when we're babies, and then it happens when you're older too. So I don't know. But I love being around my dad. I literally feel I have one of the best dads out there. My dad taught me the value of hard work, and you know, my dad, he really struggled sometimes, because for those who don't know, my mom was deaf, or she is deaf, I should say. She's still around. I shouldn't say was. She is deaf, and he had to carry a lot more weight in the family of responsibilities because of that. And on top of that, he was an officer in the military, so he was really busy. But you know, my hat's off to my dad. He did a really, really good job. And I'm not one of these kids who, oh, my dad, he wasn't perfect. Hey, I know my dad wasn't perfect, but you know what? I love him more because he wasn't perfect, and he wasn't afraid to be who he needed to be, even if that included being a good father, but not a perfect one. And my dad, yeah, sometimes he does watch these videos, but that's not the reason I'm saying all that. I'm saying all that because I really mean it. He's a good person. All right, so we got bag number 2. So let's see what we can conjure up with bag number 2. And I will flip over to the comments before I start building with bag number 2 here. And for those who don't know the story, my dad is the reason I found the Lego user group that I belong to. My dad, I did a train show volunteering for him, and the Lego people were across the way from me, and I met him that way. So let's see. All right, no comments. All right. Oh, just like the news, no comment. All right. Let's, I'm sorry. Bad jokes. All right. That's all I got today is bad jokes. And also what I need is a drink. And I don't mean alcoholic, I just mean a drink. Because I'm warm. It was in the mid-80s here, which means it was about 95 in the shop. Kind of warm. And, you know, for those who do know, and for those who don't, I live in a mountainous area. The valley I'm in is only about 2.5 miles wide. So I got mountains on either side of me. And there are mountains north of me as well. They're not that far. And Enzo was a really, really good dog today. There was a snake, and it looked like a rattler snake, but I don't have my glasses on, so I'm not sure, but there was definitely something coiled up out in the backyard. Well, call it backyard, it's really a pasture. And I had the back door to the shop open, and Enzo kept barking. And I couldn't figure out why, because Enzo doesn't bark. He really doesn't. I can count on one hand how many times I've heard him bark since I've had him for 4 or 5 months now. And he was barking and barking out the back door, and I finally looked, and I saw something coiled up back there, and I said, oh no. So I closed that door because I had the other side of the shop, which is 60 feet away, open, and I didn't really think the snake was going to come after me. They try to avoid you. So, but, you know, he's being a good boy, and he is recovering nicely. And I say recovering because Enzo's a rescue, and Enzo was extremely afraid when he first came here, and would not, he didn't even want to be around me. But he's gotten to know me, and he likes me, which is a good thing because I've gotten to know him and I like him. Of course, I liked him before I met him, before I knew him that well, because he's just a beautiful dog. He's an Alaskan Malamute German Shepherd mix, and just a really good dog, you know. So real gentle mannered. He does not go after my cat in the house, Max, but he does go after the cats outside. Of course, Max kind of taught him a lesson first time he tried that, and Enzo's never forgot that lesson. It's called a swipe to the nose with the claws. And it was funny because Enzo today, while I was doing my Bricklink orders, he stared down Max, and Max just stared right back at him like, try it. And Enzo backed down. He was like, no, I think I remember what happened the first time. I won't take my chances. So it's kind of funny there. All right, let's do a couple more here, and then I'll flip over to the other page so I can see comments again. I apologize, I can't see the comments, and I just put this down in the wrong place. Dang it. Oh, there we go. All right. So I think this bowling alley, I do have another bowling alley, and I've talked about this before, that I bought the instructions for, but I heavily modded it. And anyway, I plan on putting that in my Lego mock, city mock. And by the way, for those who know about my city mock and that I did it at my other house, I want to let you know that after the show calms down in November, I plan on starting to make videos. And hopefully I'll get the nano antennas installed in the shop too, so I get good internet out there. And assuming that that happens, I'm going to start doing my live streams from the shop, and I'm going to be building the city mock right on camera. So hopefully we can get all that going, and we can have some good videos and some good times there, and you can watch me build this stuff. And really looking forward to that too, because I missed my city, and I had to destroy it when I left because there was no way to transport it whole. So I want to get back to that. Water is good. Yes, it is. Or the other one, Ingrid, they always say is not just no comment, is I'm not at liberty to say. And you're planning on watching Andor. Cool, Greg. I know I don't have Disney Plus anymore, so not for me, but maybe I will get it again, because I did not get the third season of The Mandalorian because of that. And stay away from snakes. Yes, around here we are known to have rattlesnakes. It's just the fact of life living so close to being wedged in between the mountains. So yeah. Of course, out in the shop 2 days ago, I went to go close the shop garage door because it was getting dark. And I'm getting dark, I mean it was almost dark. It was pretty dark. And you know, I went to go grab the latch, and I felt a really sharp pain on my forearm about right here. And then I put my arm up, and then I felt a really sharp jab in my armpit. And I felt something buzzing around there, so I slapped my armpit, and a freaking yellow jacket ended up falling to the ground after I did that, and I stomped the heck out of him. And I went in the house, looked in the mirror, and I thought I got stung twice. No, I got stung 3 times. This little guy was so fast, he stung me twice in the armpit, but they were so close together that it felt like just one giant one, but it was actually 2 little ones. So, yeah, little bugger was fast, and he had no problems going after me. Let me tell you. And now I've gone after them, and I've killed 3 large nests that were right over my back door here. I hated it because every time I went out, I got buzzed, and it was really annoying. So I did go after them, and I used this Raid. That's what I used, Raid, and it worked really, really well. To be honest, it really took care of the problem. So anyway, the fun of living out in the country, and this is my first time living out in the country. So just in case you didn't know that. And oh, I should give you guys an update. I spoke to John today because John lives right in the path of the hurricane, Ivan, and I spoke with him. He is without power, but he's doing just fine, and his mom's doing fine too, because I don't know if you guys know, his mom lives just a couple blocks away from him. And so yes, I've been in contact with John, and John is a regular to the channel. He comes to almost every live stream, so I know a few of you talk to him on a regular basis, and I just wanted to let you know that I've talked to him, and he's fine. Wow, we just keep going with this flooring, don't we? Alright. But my father-in-law calls Yellow Jackets a-holes, and I agree, they are. They are definitely that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it just seems like we're continuing the pattern over and over and over here. So, but I do like this pattern. Alright guys, I have been without the AC since I started. We're like 30 minutes into this, and I got turned off for at least a minute. Of course, I buried the remote. Oh, there it is. There we go. I'll have it on just for a few minutes, and then hopefully I can turn it off, but I'm starting to feel the effects of being up here in this loft area. So, alright. But yeah, this is my first experience with living out in the country. And I wished I would have done it years ago, to be honest. I love being out here so much. Just so dang peaceful. And I got great neighbors. In fact, neighbor across the street, she's really busy. She's got like 6, 7 kids. I can never remember how many, but anyway, she texted me today and said, "Hey, I left a treat in your mailbox." And I went out there, and she had made homemade cinnamon rolls and left one in my mailbox for me. So, you know, if it was supposed to be kept for a special occasion, it didn't make it. I took care of that as soon as I grabbed it out of the box and realized what it was. It was really good. She really makes a good cinnamon roll, and that homemade what do you call it, icing on it was perfect. It wasn't too sugary, but it wasn't too bland. It was just right. Wow, I think that today we're mostly just going to get flooring in. It looks like we got a bunch of that going on. And I'll flip over to the comments here in just a second. All right, let's do this. I'm glad John and his mom are okay. I'm listening while I clean. Hey, I do that too, man. I see YouTube all the time, especially when I'm working, cleaning, whatever. And it's awesome, man. A little something to cut up the dryness of nothing. And having a little bit of noise going on, and some pleasant noise too. At least I think my voice is, but in general, YouTube is. And Greg says, I had a Greek gyro today. I love those, man. There was a place when I lived in Columbus, Ohio, and it was less than a mile from us, and they specialized in gyros. Love those things, man. Those are so, especially if they're done right and they got a little juice to them. Those are awesome. Of course, you know, if I stood up, you'd see that I'm carrying a little extra weight, and you could tell that food's my weakness. And I'm happy to report that food is my weakness. I love me a good whatever. And oh, by the way, have you ever noticed that none of the cave paintings are of salad? They're always of animals? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to start anything here. I do have a sister-in-law that's vegan, and well, as I told you, my family and I, we tease each other, so yep, she hears it. And it's not because I'm against her being vegan, it's just because I want something to joke about. Okay, let's see. And you know, one thing I do like is how Lego came out with these little triangular tiles. Ever since they have, I've really fallen in love with them. I really like using them in my builds. I also like the one that has like the 2x2 and the little triangle, and it's all one piece. I love those tiles. Those came out, I believe, with the Bricklink for the first time. And I have since amassed a couple hundred of each color that's available, and I love them. I love using them in my builds. Of course, I really like the free build. And my sister, or my mom, posted a picture of me when I was 5 on Facebook of me playing with Lego. And, you know, my oldest sister underneath there put, "Some things just never change." And she's right. I'm still playing with Legos. I shouldn't tell you 45 years later, but almost 45 years later. So, yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, I'm showing my age. I don't really care though. I remember my granddaughter recently asked me how old I was. And my answer was older than dirt. She's only 4 and she looked at me like, what? So, let's see, 6, okay, all right. And also, when I was in college, one of my roommates asked me if I was dirt poor, and I said nope, because dirt's worth more than I am right now. It's got a bigger wallet than I do. Thank goodness I'm a bit away from that these days, and I'm not in that predicament anymore. And my hat goes off to Mrs. Chip for being such a great team player and being a hard worker herself, and making sure that as a couple we do all right. I do appreciate her a lot. She's got a tough job in the Army, for those who did not know that. So, but I think I already mentioned that in this stream, but boy, I'm losing my memory. Alright, as soon as I'm done with this bag, I'll flip over to comments. Just trying to get through this for right now. And by the way, this kind of flooring right here where it's layered, that's exactly what I did in my Grand Lion Hotel. So, put it here, and put it there. Okay, it's saying that I'm missing a couple of tiles. No, it's not. I just didn't flip over. Never mind. Alright, so here, here, and here. Okay. So that's bags 1 and 2. Let's, I'll flip over here and catch some comments I may have missed. Let's see. AC doesn't bother me, it's like white noise, and I hear you. Okay, cool. Good. Thank you, Mr. Chip, for missing. How are you going so fast? Takes me forever to find pieces. Next Friday's payday. I'm paying any phone bill and saving $200. Awesome, Greg. Ingrid, I don't know. I don't really have a method to it. And I hope this does not sound or come across as arrogant or conceited, but I actually get that a lot from people. They say, "Oh man, you build so fast." I don't know. I don't know how I do it. But if I ever figure out the method to the madness, or the madness to the method, whatever one comes to me first, I would be happy to share that with anybody. I don't know. I've always I've always been good at building with Lego, and I'll tell you what. I don't know about you, Ingrid, but I find Lego really relaxing, and I mean like super relaxing, because I could be having the worst day in the world. You give me a bucket of Legos in about 20 minutes, and I'm feeling great. I don't need anything besides that. So I guess you could say Lego's kind of been my best friend over the years in a way, but I do have friends that don't like that. However, I am a bit saddened. I had a friend who recently I just had to go ahead and part ways because you know, he's been through a really bad divorce recently, and it's just really turned him into a really bitter person. And the divorce has been final for almost 2 years. Actually, this month is 2 years, and he's just really become a bitter person, and that bitterness has spilled over into other parts of his life. That when I talk to him, he snaps at me, and I'm like, dude, chill out, man. And I just got to the point where I just don't take his calls when he calls anymore. And I have talked to him about it before I did that. I didn't just drop him. And he seems to think there's not an issue, so, well, I do, so I'm not going to argue. So I felt the best thing for my mental health is not to be around someone who is like that, because he likes to pick at me a lot, and you know, he's said stuff about me playing with a child's toy and making fun of my YouTube channel, and saying derogatory things like because my wife's not perfect, I don't need to be with her, for instance. Well, you know what? She ain't perfect, and neither am I. And that's exactly what a relationship is, though. Is two people who are imperfect working together to make it work, and they make the choice every day to make it work. And so I don't want to hear it. So what? She's not perfect. I'm not either. She's still with me. So, you know, when he started saying crap like that, I just said, you know what? I'm good. I don't need that. And I don't have to say his name. I know Jenny. I know. There, I said her name, but Jenny, Mrs. Chip. I know Mrs. Chip knows who I'm talking about, too. So please don't say his name, Mrs. Chip. But I know you know who it is. But he did. I do admit, my friend, the marriage was bad in this case. And all right, I just have to say this because this is funny. Okay, my friend's he's Christian, and he's like a church-going guy and all that stuff. And so was his wife, and they got married because they met in church. And then his wife, they only been married 3 years. Boy, did she change in those 3 years. She started the YouTube channel on how to worship the devil. And I kid you not, she really did. And that's when he started thinking about divorce, and then he decided to go with the divorce. So, poor guy, he's been through a lot. So, but it's turned him into a very bitter person. I'm building the Giganosaurus. Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. And no one is perfect. That's correct. No one is. And I don't think of myself as perfect either, at all. I know my shortcomings, and I just try to find ways to work through my shortcomings and still become a better person every day. And there's an old proverb, and it's not in the Bible, not that kind of proverb. I think it's Mongolian, but I could be wrong. But the saying goes, if every man swept in front of his own house, we'd have a clean world. And I really wish that more people would be accountable for what they do, and take responsibility and clean up in front of their own front door. Because if everyone did that, we'd have a clean world. But enough. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to preach at nobody. I'm just stating my personal opinion. So Alright, looks like I'm going to slide this over a little bit more here in a little bit if we keep going. Because this is starting to fill up. Okay. Oh, I missed a few things. It's probably because I'm over here just blabbing away. But no, I enjoy this, guys. I really enjoy you guys dropping in and spending a little bit of time with me. And I get it. Sometimes people spend a few minutes. Sometimes people spend 20 minutes. Sometimes they stay for the whole thing. It don't matter. I love having you here. I love the conversation. And I love talking to people who are just as weird as I am. And the reason I said that is because my dad said that to me. I will remove the cuss words from what my dad said. But when I moved here, my lug came out. My Lego user group came out, and they helped me. And they helped unload the trailer and the truck and all that stuff. And there was like 6 of them here, and then some neighbors showed up. And boy, you know what? It didn't take us that long. I have a lot of stuff. And when we were done moving, my dad said, it's a good thing you found those friends, because then they understand why you're so weird. And of course, there was a few F-bombs in there, and I took those out for you guys, because I don't want to repeat that. But that's just kind of how my dad is, and it's not offensive. He's just being him. Of course, I tease him right back, so that's just how it goes between us. And I just saw him 2 weekends ago. He lives about 100 miles from me now, because I moved. And yeah, my mom and dad are still together. They're almost 80. They're both the same age. And yeah, I saw them 2 weekends ago, and I'll probably I don't know if I'm gonna see them this weekend or not. To be completely honest, I don't know. I will probably see my sister, though. My oldest sister lives just 45 minutes away from me, and her husband was in a terrible car accident about 7 years ago, and he lost the use of his arm. And so I usually show up about every other weekend, and I help him out and help him get some chores done around the house that he can't get done, like building things, repairing things. Because, I mean, he can do some of it, but he obviously has a hard time with only the use of one arm. And I will say, though, my brother-in-law does not have a sour look on life at all. He's one of the greatest guys, and I really think that my sister was blessed to meet this guy, because her first marriage wasn't any great. She met this great guy. So anyway, he is sad, and wow, she did that. Yeah, she did. Crazy stuff, man. And I've seen her since, and she looks very unhappy. And I wished I had $600 for Razor Crest. Greg, you will get there, and you will get there. I'm sure you will, man. You're a determined guy. That's one thing I like about you, Greg. Greg and I, we talk off the platform, and we message each other and stuff. And I don't know, we don't message every day, but just about every day we do. And Greg's a really determined guy. He really is. He doesn't give up, man. And I think that's really awesome, because you know what? That's why Greg gets what he wants. And anymore, man, I'll tell you what. I was reading this thing, and it was talking about how they design buildings these days so with enough elevators that people don't wait more than 45 seconds, because they found that people won't wait longer than 45 seconds for an elevator. Isn't that sad? So I guess what I'm trying to say with that is that we live in a world where if you can't get it right now, they're not interested. So I love the fact that, you know, I've got friends that don't mind putting a little bit of elbow grease into it and getting it done. I really, really do appreciate that. It's a good example to me, motivates me. And it's really important to have good friends. And again, not that I really wanted this to be a sermon tonight, because I don't, and it's not. But life experience of what I've learned. there was a study that was done that you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so a guy on YouTube, and I'm not going to say his name, but he says that if you hang around 5 fat balding losers, he'll be number 6. That's how he says it, instead of saying you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So it's important to surround yourself with good people, and I feel like I have. You know, John, Greg, Miss Chip, and everybody else on here, including Ingrid and Jacob. I met him in a live stream a couple weeks ago, and getting to know him a little bit. He's a good guy. He's just starting out life at 18, and really enjoy his Lego work. And he's another guy who I feel is determined to realize his dreams. And that's what I like about it. I like hanging around people that are just like that. They really do motivate me to want to do better. And me and Mrs. Chip, before this live stream, we were talking about life in general. And we were talking about how sometimes some things are so difficult, and how you're just bombarded sometimes with things that are grabbing your attention, and you know, like my phone. Sometimes I hate my phone. I've turned off all the notifications, and I still get notifications that come through that shouldn't come through, and it's really annoying because I get interrupted a lot, and it's really distracting. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. Okay, let's switch gears here to the front. Let's get this done. Well, you know, I feel like I was supposed to be building a bowling alley, but it looks like all I did was build the floor for the bowling alley. That's it, guys. That's all I did do. All right, so let's see. I think that's bags. Yep, so we're supposed to be on bag number 4 next. I'm going to go ahead and stop here because it's 5:53, and well, I only like to go for about an hour. And anyways, I'm going to get back in the shop, and I'm going to work on the Grand Line Hotel. I really need to get that going because I got to get 7-Eleven built, and I got to get this bowling alley built, and I got to get the town hall modular built. I got a lot of things I got to build for this thing. Then I got to do the roads and all the landscaping around it for the show, and the show is only 5 weeks away now. So yeah, I've got my display for the show that a week from now already built, but I need to work on the one for the next show. All right, guys, I do appreciate you stopping in, and you know, hit the like button if you would, and you know, drop a subscribe if you haven't already, and double check and make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube likes to do this funny thing, kicking people off the channel. So that's just what it is. So all right, guys, be good to each other and stay safe out there, and thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next video.